What's up, world? You already know who it is. It's your boy Nextstop SirchCity.
What's going on, my people? You already know who it is over here. It's your girl Neda, and boy, oh
Yes.
boy, do we have another special one for you today.
Look, we're
Guess
trying to
who
do it
we got
big.
in the building?
Doing it big for you guys. I'm like, we're really taking this serious. So guess we have a very special guest today. Okay. This guy, remarkable. If you follow him, I follow him on IG. Started watching him on Next Level Chef season 2. Guys, what I would like to do for you today is introduce to you the famous, talented, remarkable Chef Vinny. What's
Hey,
up?
what's going on? Look at I got the beard though. I got the
Got
beard.
the beard.
Here,
It's fine.
that
It's
working?
fine.
No,
What's
but,
going
but thank
on?
you so much, very much, man. Look, so we're here today. We are greatly appreciative to have you on the show. Um,
Yes.
we again we started this podcast probably about a month and a half ago, and we're fans of you guys' Next Level Chef, all of Gordon Ramsay stuff. But it was just to see you guys be open and willing to do this podcast, our little old podcast. We just want to say thank you first off.
Hey, it's my pleasure. I'm just like you guys, regular guy. Well, regular girl we have here too, but I'm just a regular person. Uh, home chef, just like everybody else, and I guess I got lucky for a minute there. You know what I mean?
Hey, you
And
did.
here I
Hey,
am today.
you did your thing on the show, and guess
You
what? It
did.
shows you're here today. Again, I follow you on IG, so I see the stuff that you're doing, and it's great.
Thank you.
Um, oh, no problem. So let's get into it. What everybody
Yeah.
wants to know is who is Vinny? Who are you? Where did you grow up? How did you get started cooking? What's your story?
Man, I got a story for you guys. You guys ready for it?
We're
We're
ready.
ready.
Let's see. My name is Vinny Alia, and I appreciate you following on my stuff. This has been a blast. About me, I'm 43 years old, dinosaur, getting there. I feel it, that's for sure. Grew up in Massachusetts, a little city called Leominster, Massachusetts. Both my parents, I have a younger sister named Ashley. Just grew up in an old school Italian. We were kind of poor growing up, but um, my mom could make anything. Everybody has their story, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
had a grandma or I had a mom that could take nothing and make something, and that's kind of the atmosphere that I grew up in. I had the awesome grandmothers. My father's mother is Sicilian, and
Mm.
man, the stuff she could make. I never cooked with her though. I never cooked with her. She wouldn't let me in her kitchen.
Oh,
I am
oh,
I've
like
been there.
so
yeah,
sad, so
Yeah.
sad.
yeah, yeah.
Never was allowed to help, but I was in the kitchen. I was the prince of the family, so I got the first taste and all that stuff. Um, Grew up, had a bunch of friends. A lot of them aren't here today. I grew up in a rough side. Saw a lot of stuff young, I guess. Um, Nothing crazy, just like typical drugs and alcohol around where I grew up.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
I never went down that path. I was too afraid of my father finding out, so I just never went down that path. But made some great friends through the times. I wish they were still here to see this. They'd probably love it.
Yeah.
In high school, I don't know, this might be shocking to you guys, but I didn't like being in school. I didn't like studying, and
I
I
didn't
kind of just
either.
got by. Yeah, right. I rolled with a pretty cool crew though, and I just got by. Senior year, I signed up for the United States Navy at age 17. Um, Went into boot camp into Great Lakes and was stationed. So I did Great Lakes from the boot camp on for about 3-4 months, and then I was stationed in San Diego, California. Wow, let me tell you what, that's the place to go to. I was on the
Okay.
Okay, okay.
yeah,
Good to
right,
know.
right. I got a little taste. I was on the USS Decatur. Did not cook. So this whole time, Not really into cooking. I just kind of picked up bits and pieces from my mom. My dad couldn't boil water, believe it or not. My mom was the cook of the house, and she could throw down. I'd like to say I'm a little better than her, but I can't do that.
Oh,
But
yeah, better watch out.
if she were here, she'd kill me, right?
Yeah.
Can
So
I just say
what's
oh,
that?
I'm sorry. I was
No,
like,
no, no.
I love Italian food. Like that is my
Really? I
favorite.
got you.
Yes.
What do you want?
My anything. Like my mom, she said when she was pregnant with me, that's what she craved, Italian food.
Really?
Yeah.
It's I see a lot of similarities between Italian and Mexican food. A lot of it's family. Not saying that other um, ethnicities of food
Mhm.
isn't, but everything's like family style. And what I mean by that
Yeah.
is like huge
Yep.
portions. You're not
Yep.
leaving here till you puke. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
just like a big lasagna. Like here's a big lasagna. You'd eat it for a week. You're good. You know what I mean? And you
Yep.
didn't complain. You just pasta, chicken, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So got out of the military. I was a bouncer for a little bit in Boston. That was a fun time.
Okay.
And then I got in
So
the fire department when I was 24 in Leominster,
Oh wow.
and I've been
okay.
there since. I think I'm a 20-year veteran there.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just have to say this search was right because we was trying to figure out where were you from and we couldn't
Admit it.
remember, but search kept
Admit you're
saying
wrong.
Boston. And because he said he heard the accent, he was like, I just
I
don't hear
heard
South
it.
Carolina. And so I was like, okay, you was right. You was right. Boston.
So I was
That's
born in Columbia, South Carolina.
Okay.
Mhm.
My parents, my dad's from Syracuse, New York. My mother's from Mariah, New York, which is country little town in way upstate New York. They both met in Florida because my dad was a musician. He actually was a blues musician for a very long time. So I
Okay.
grew up in the blues community too. And
Oh
let me
wow.
tell you, that was a good community to grow up in.
Yeah.
Blues music, you can't get any better than that.
Yeah.
And but my mother was driving up from Florida pregnant. She was 7 months pregnant to Massachusetts. That's where they were going to
Mhm.
Okay.
lay their hat. That's where the band originated from. My dad's band. That's why they picked Massachusetts. And I was born 2 months premature.
Oh
Um,
wow.
so she was
Okay.
driving on her way up. I decided to come 2 months early, and it was in Columbia. So I have no ties to Columbia except I was
Yeah.
born there.
Got it.
I
Got
spent
it.
a month in the NICU there. I almost died and all that fun stuff, but I made it.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I
Wow.
was
Yeah.
well before you got on, I was like, I hope I don't offend him with my Sixers hat because I'm like Boston is
Nah.
playing Sixers tonight.
No, 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 no. You know what it is, though. Boston, right?
Yeah. Uh, I can't see the score right now, so I'm not going to say
Yeah.
anything
Well,
to
listen, the
humiliate
Boston
myself.
Bruins choked last night. We can't have the Celtics choking tonight. So,
No, I think you guys are safe. I think you're safe. But no,
yeah, you
so
think
you
we're
said
good?
you started you were a firefighter since 24. Where did the cooking start?
Cooking started when I was 7. I was watching my mom a lot. I was always
Mhm.
in the kitchen. I grew up in an apartment, so it was very tight, tight in there. Not super tight, but it was an apartment. And a lot of the cooking would happen on the table, the main table, because the kitchen was just not huge and you couldn't do
Mhm.
stuff. So I'd start off as like her stir or her, chicken. Like I got to pound the chicken with the mallet, and I'll tell you what, I learned a little bit from that, and that's where you learn the love portion of food. You know what I mean? That's where you learn everybody. I think I said it on the show too. I mean, I stick by this. Everybody has that one meal that they'll always remember, and it's not from a restaurant. It's from your
Mhm.
grandmother, your grandfather, your mom, your
That
dad,
is
your
so
aunt, your
true.
uncle.
Yeah.
They always have that one
Yeah.
meal, and every
Yeah.
superstar chef, they same with them too.
Yeah.
Like Gordon Ramsay, his favorite chef is his mom.
Yeah.
That's his favorite cooking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I bet you right now, both of you right now know right in your head who made what and what it is, and you cannot create it for the life of you. No matter what you try, no matter what ingredients you
Yeah.
use, you're not doing it.
Yeah.
Not happening.
My
Yeah. My
both
mom
both of
sprinkled
my grandmothers.
magic dust I swear, I don't know for the life of me. I'll do it. And I'm like, but it don't taste like yours. Like, how do
It's
you
those
do it?
old
Yeah.
fingers. It's those
Yeah.
old fingers. They had the moves. You don't have that.
Yeah.
I
Both.
don't.
You're not gonna get it.
Yeah. Both my grandmothers. Oh
Yeah.
man. Oh
You
man.
you
Yeah.
can't do it. I bet you cook great. You can't touch
Mhm.
it. They
When
probably
she
laugh
does
at
it,
you while you're doing it.
Mhm.
I like to eat. I'm like a great taster.
Good. You want to come up here? We'll get married. I'll just be my taste tester. Let's go. Italian food.
Italian. There you go. Italian.
Italian.
Well, speaking of, so you know you're a firefighter.
Yep.
I used to have a former friend who was a firefighter. He threw down in the kitchen as well. So what is it like cooking for your fellow firefighters? Are they picky? Do they?
Oh. So it's I didn't mention it before. I was just trying to give you a quick rundown of like me coming up. But that's where I learned. It was the firehouse. I didn't
Okay.
start off great. You know what I mean? I just knew a couple things. I mean, I've cooked a lot of bad meals more than good meals there. First off, we're a pretty decent sized fire department. I mean, we probably have 20 guys on at a time, which for us, that's
Wow.
pretty decent.
Wow.
Um,
Wow. Golly.
and you are going to get honesty quick. You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
something tastes like crap, you're going to know it. And you have 25-year-olds because they're the pickiest eaters you'll ever meet in your life. And some of them like don't like onions and they don't like this. And you know, being the older guy now, I'm like, listen, I'm putting it out, which they all eat it, you know, now.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Right.
back
Right.
then, I mean, yeah. No, you got 20 honest people. And we are ball breakers to no end. But a lot of love in that firehouse. I miss my brothers and sisters. Yeah, that's where you're gonna learn. It's everything's based off of food. It's like being with your family. They're my family.
Yeah.
And you know when you go to that cousin's house or that person's house, everything's based off of food. Everything. So
Yeah.
lunch and dinner. Yeah.
As soon as you said 20, I say, oh yeah, that's family style right there. That's just another family. So yeah, that's
Exactly. It's a family that you fight with, that you love more than anything. You die for them, but you hate them the next second. You love them the next second. You know, it's your family. That's what happens. And I'll tell you what, being the cook there, you get loved a little bit more because, you know, you're the cook.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you the cook. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your feet in the snow. I get it. I get
Yeah.
it.
So, right. But hey, if you cook a bad one,
yeah,
you're buying
worst
pizza
enemy.
for 20 guys.
Yeah, I get it. I got it. Yeah. Well, so speaking of cooking, and you learned in the firehouse, how did the opportunity for Next Level Chef come about? What was the process of you getting on the show?
No, great question. So I was at my house with my buddy Sean Phillips. He's a firefighter with me. He's been my best friend since I've been on. And he's like, Vinny, I know you like cooking shows, which I do. I who doesn't love cooking shows, right?
Yeah.
I actually had to take a break from watching cooking shows when I got off the show. I was like, I'm just so overloaded. But he's like, I know you're a big fan of Gordon Ramsay. He just came out with this new show. It's not huge right now, but let's watch it. And it was Next Level Chef season 1. And I was glued to the screen. I'm like,
so were we. Yep.
It's cool because you don't see it.
Yeah.
And you got pros, you got social media, and you have home chefs. And everybody's equal. And that's what I like.
Yeah.
There's no just because I didn't go to college or somebody didn't go to college doesn't mean they can't throw down in the kitchen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's some people that can throw down.
Well, I mean, we seen. We watched. We seen.
I did all right. I did all right. But I watched it and he was just looking at his phone and he's like, dude, they're taking applications for the next season. I go, yeah, I guess I'll fill it out. I think it was like 40 pages long. I'm like, oh my God. The questions on there were nuts. It was like,
Oh.
where have you worked? Where were you a chef? Where'd you cook? Everything I put, firehouse, 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 firehouse. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't cook for anybody special. I just cook at the firehouse. I don't cater. I don't go to school for this. So naturally, when you see all those questions and you can't answer them, the first thing in your head is like, they ain't picking me.
Right.
And they called me. They're like, hey, we kind of noticed your application. I'm like, okay, cool. It's probably because I'm a firefighter. It's kind of unique to a lot of people, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then I just kept making it and making it and making it. And I'm like, they're like, okay, we whittle it down to 50 and you're in the top 50. And I'm like, what? Me? What? And I've done like 7 interviews already, like through like this, like interviews. And I'm like, all like, hi, you know, like
with
hey,
the tie and all that.
you know? I wasn't like, hey, what's going on? You know, it's Vinny. And my story is really unique, which we'll get into too, because there's a lot to it. But I just kept making it. And they're like, okay, we're going to decide. We're going to let you know by the end of July. You'll hear from us. Don't call us. We'll call you. And I'm like,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And at the end of July is my birthday. July 26th is my birthday. And I hate my birthday. But I was like, you know what'd be cool? To find out if I got it. So it's rolling around the end of July. I'm just looking at my phone every 5 seconds. Nothing. Still nothing. August, in the middle of August, nothing. I'm like, I got the hint. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't get picked. Because I asked him, like, can you do me a favor? Because I have severe anxiety. I'm nuts. Just call me and say I didn't make it. I can sleep at night. I'm not going to wonder whose weird phone number is calling me, you know, at 2 a.m. So middle of August, they called me and I was at work and I was leaving work and it was like, you made top 21. You're being flown out. And I was like, me? And you literally have like 2 weeks to prepare your life because it was like 2 weeks. We're flying you out. And it's like, you know, I have a kid. I got a job. I got a life. I got a house.
Yeah.
You know, like pick up 2 weeks. This is going to be interesting, but I'm going to do it. And I almost didn't do it.
Really?
You guys are going to laugh at me. Why? You ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
I'm sitting in the airport at Boston Logan.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Like you're about to get on flight.
On the flight.
And you're telling us that you were not about to do it, about to get on flight. Okay.
You ready? I hate flying.
Yeah. I do too. I get it. I get it.
My plane's crashing today all the time.
Yeah.
I've flown a million times. The engine's falling off, the wing, the pilot.
Today's the day.
Today's the day.
Gosh.
And I gotta fly 9 hours. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
And I'm like, nice knowing you.
Yeah.
And I literally sat in the airport going, why am I doing this? What? Like, what? And then another thing came into me like, dude, shut up. Get on that. I don't think you can swear on here, right? Get on that plane. Get on that fucking plane and get your ass over there now. And I did. Oh, can I recycle back a little bit?
Yes, you can.
So there was an original day for me to fly out. It was like some weird date. And it was like I think it was like a Wednesday. I forgot the dates, so please don't hold that against me. It was like a Wednesday. And you got to take COVID tests.
Oh, yeah,
right?
That's still a thing.
It's a huge thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to take COVID tests. And I'm like, woo, all right. Took my first COVID test. Not a problem. You got to take one the day before you fly. And you got to do it in front of a nurse online like this. And it's a more like rigorous, there was like batteries and it was a more in-depth test, but you do it yourself. Yeah. So I'm like, woo. I'm like packing, getting ready. Positive, right? And they're like, we start filming on Monday. And if you're positive, you got to quarantine for at least 5 days and pray that you're negative. My heart right into my shoes. I'm like, there's a million people in line. They're not waiting for me. They're not waiting for me. Right? It's Fox. How many people do you think applied? They told me over 20,000 people applied.
Yeah.
Over 20,000 people. And I'm like almost in tears, but I kind of got to hold it together a little bit. And I called the producer up, great guy, Dave, he's a producer. And I'm like, hey, I just tested positive. I go, before you say anything, I'm not sick. I don't feel like crap. I go, this is my 4th time having COVID. 4. I have 3 shots in me, and I have COVID 4 times.
Yeah.
Because I'm a first responder.
Yeah.
What do you think is showing up and everything? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
4 times. So I'm like, listen, I've had this. I've been through this. Like, can we hide this? Can I have my sister take the test? He goes, and this was like the kiss of death for me. He's like, all right. I'll call you right back. And I'm like, he ain't
calling me.
I mean, I'm real. You know what I mean? I'm a real guy.
Yeah.
This is a big major production here. I'm like, he ain't calling back. He called back. He goes, look, this is what I want you to do. In 5 days, he goes, we're going to push back production. Right? And I'm like, all right, like this, whatever. I go, I will do whatever it takes to get over there. Like, let's go. And they pushed it back on that last day. Negative. Call him up. I'm like, I'm negative. Get me out of here. He's like, be ready tomorrow morning. You're out of there. They did it. Got my plane ticket. Then I get to the airport and I'm like, ooh, I don't know. They would have killed me. I mean, obviously,
they would have flown to you and killed you. Yes,
Dave would have flown out here. He'd been with like a bat in his hand. Like, yeah, okay.
Well, we know you got on the show, so you're on the show. Finally.
So there's another story if you want to hear. I got stories. I'm a talker.
We're here for it.
So
we are here for it.
When we get out there, everybody has been there for a week. So everybody knows each other. I'm the new kid. So I'm flying all night. We're doing shots, tests in front of a camera. I literally come off the plane into a car into the studio. I'm like this. I'm like, ooh, holy shit. Like, can I get some water? You know what I mean? Like, this is a long day and it's a body shock. You know what I mean? So good thing I'm I'm bubbly. I could talk to anybody. I get in there. I'm like, family, what's going on? Like, how we doing? Everybody's like, hey, what's going on? And, everybody's intimidating because they flew out 21 people, but they're only taking 18.
Yeah.
So you still don't know.
Right.
And just like the plane thing, I'm like, they ain't picking me.
Yeah.
They ain't picking. You know how I don't know how you guys are, but I size people up. I look at them, I kind of read them a little bit. Maybe it's just how I grew up. Always sizing people up, always seeing what's up. There's people over there with knives, like guys, like people owning restaurants and this, that. And I'm like, I'm just a cook from Leominster hi, I'm Vinny, like, how you doing? I got nothing. I'm just a firefighter cook. And we did all our shots. We did our headshots. And then it was like, all right, you guys can go back to the room and rest. It's 6:00 at night. I'm like, rest? I'm ready to like knock it out for at least 14 hours right now. You know what I mean? And they're like, okay, we're going to come to you around because you get put in a hotel room. You can't have the key. You are separated from everybody. You're on lockdown. It's almost like a prison, but they treat you great. It's just they don't want you co-mingling with people. They don't want you to get in trouble. They don't want you getting COVID. You're an investment now. You know what I mean? You're an investment. and they don't want to hurt their investment.
Right.
So everybody goes to their rooms. I'm sitting on my bed, literally with my carry-on. I didn't unpack. I'm like ready to go home. I didn't unpack one item. I'm like ready to go home. I get the knock at the door, and the producer's like, "Hey, Vinny, how are you?" I'm like, "Oh, fuck." He's like all straight face, like, "Hey, can you go in your room and have a seat, please?" I'm like,
Oh, Lordy.
"God damn, yeah." You need some bad news?
Uh,
Like, I already know I'm going home, but it doesn't need to be this. He sits on the edge of my bed and he's just like, "So we flew 22 people out here." I think I said 21 earlier. He's like, "We flew 22 people out here and we need to cut 4 of them. And you made it." I'm like, "Don't ever do that." Like, what? I'm like, "Hug me. Give me a hug." You know,
wow.
like, you want to talk, he got in here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, bro, come on. You got to remember, I've been flying all night, thrown in front of like real, like this is real cameras, real production, like lawyers, producers, directors. And I'm just like, okay, here we are. He's like, "You made it." He's like, "Go get your clothes pressed." And you're like, "What?" And you're all giggly. And you're like, I was like, called my sister. I was like, "Oh my God." I never cry. I'm like, "Oh my God, I made it." Having like a meltdown and shit. And yeah,
Well, now that we know you made it to the show, on the show, what was your experience like being on the show, like filming and all the other stuff?
It was real. It was overwhelming because you're not used to that life. I mean, it's a set. Everything you never see. The big cameras, the little cameras, you're being told to stand here, shit there, piss over there, cough over there. You know what I mean? Like, you're just like, yep. And you're constantly mic'd up, like constantly in the break room. They want to hear us talking. They want to get our personalities. So they're always listening. Boy, did I say some effed up stuff on that thing. They've been like, "Oh, shit. Oh, my God." I'm over here like I'm a single dude. So there was like this redhead over there. I'm like, "Dude, that redhead's got a wagon. Oh, my God." Like everybody's like, "Dude, you're on a mic." I'm like, "Oh, my God." You know what I mean? I'm like, "Okay, I'll be standing over here somewhere," But you get to meet your castmates, and I'll tell you what, we're family for life, all of us. Much love. Oh my God, we love each other. We went through something that only, I don't know, I think there was, 14 people on the first one or 15 people on the first
15,
one.
I believe, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's 15 because they added 3 and now 18. So you're in a small group of people. And so you're you got to do hair and makeup. I'm like, makeup? Come on. Like, I'm a boy. I don't wear makeup, like I'm just an old school guy, I'm like, makeup. All right. I guess I'll go. They're like, "You're oily. Okay. You're oily." And you can shine. I'm like, okay.
It's literally just for the cameras. Yeah,
like,
that's it.
Like hitting me. I got to go see like microphone people. And they have runners for everything. They're like, "What would you like? Would you like tea? Would you like this?" I'm like, "No, I'll go get it myself. That's what I normally do." Like, "No, we'll go get it." I'm like, I don't like this stuff. I don't like that. But we got in the green room and it was like fun, and everybody's taught. Like, my daughter Madison's obviously my life. I think we all know that. And so I'm always chatting about Madison and how cool I am as a firefighter, which I'm really not that cool, like, and then you just hear about everybody's background. Like, I don't know if you guys remember Michelle.
Yep.
Yes.
Team Ramsey. Her and I are brother and sister. We didn't know it, but we talk every day. We love each other to death. I love her husband, her family. We are very close. Shay, love him to, like, there's just so deep love. Like Matt, Chris, all those guys. Like Mark McMillan, him and I are like bros for life. And it's like, I'm over here. I got an NFL legend on my phone, and I can call him up
Exactly.
anytime I
I
want. Like,
know. Oh my
what?
gosh.
You think he's like, I
And
got a firefighter named Vinny on my phone anytime.
and he used to play for the Eagles.
Yeah.
That's
There you
pretty
go.
dope.
Eagles fly. You know what I mean? Fly, Eagles fly. And
I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm sorry.
you just ruined the podcast. I know we
Yep.
stop here. My best friend and my cousin Justin is a Cowboys fan, and my uncle is a Cowboys fan. I don't get it. I don't know why. I think you guys are still stuck in the 90s. Time to let it go. Dak's
Yes.
not doing nothing. Jerry Jones isn't doing nothing. It's time to move on.
Let him know.
I have to hold on. You have to hold on to hope sometimes. That's all.
Yeah,
I can
no,
say.
trust me, I'm
Hold
a
it on to
Patriots
hope.
fan. So after Brady left, it's like right down the hill, and I'm like, I'm about to go
No, I
try
get
it.
No, I get it. But look, we understand, and we've interviewed Kamahlai, we interviewed Daryl recently, and he said the same thing. You guys are a family, and that's
Oh yeah,
in reality TV. It's good to see that it's not just about competition, bickering, fighting. It's like, okay,
yeah.
it's nice to see and hear from everybody that this is a family. We don't have to, even though it's a competition, we don't have to hate each other or throw shade all the time. It's good to hear that you guys are close knit. And like you said, it's a select few that's going through this experience. So that's real
nobody to
dope.
really relate to. It was great. It's like, so like you asked, we go from the green room and we line up behind the set, and you can hear Gordon, Naisha, and Richard talking on the other side, and you're like we didn't meet them beforehand. There was no like, hey, how are you? Nice to meet you. Let's do a good.
Mm-hmm.
You literally I've never been in front of cameras. They're like, get ready. Okay, stand here. We're going out there in 10. Like, I get goosebumps just thinking of it. I remember that day. It was like you could hear Gordon's accent, and you're like, this guy's my idol.
And you was on his team.
He picked me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's yeah.
It like I almost want to cry. Like it was just so surreal. You hear their voices, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, Gordon! Oh my God!" And they're like, "Shut up! We're filming. Shut up!" And you just hear him, "Hey, everybody!" And you're just like, "Hi," like, "Hi." They're like, "All right, cut. We're gonna reshoot that one. All right, guys, can we?"
Wow.
It's like, what? And then you listen. I know it's TV and everything. Nothing was reshot. Everything's real time. There was never like, all right, let's rerun that food. Vinny, can you go cut your hand off? Thanks. Some people thought that was fake. Some people thought that was a setup fake. I'm like,
I never thought that, not one
no.
time. Like I always imagined that it was actually happening.
Everything on there is real time, like real, no redos, no nothing. And the first thing they said to us was, if you cut yourself, notify us immediately. Don't try to hide it. People do. Just get the medic out here, wrap your hand, and go back. And I'm like,
yeah, we seen that.
Hey, Gordon. Oh my God. And I was bleeding.
Yeah, we saw.
To the point where I almost took the side of my finger and cauterized it on the side of the pan because I'm like, I am not leaving this show. Like I'm a tough dude and this ain't, but I didn't. They're like wrapped it up. They wrapped it up, put the glove back on. Gordon didn't talk to me for the rest of the time. He's like,
hilarious.
Oh my, who did I pick? Wow. This kid just cut his finger and then, made my dish. I took the glove off and it just it was filled with blood. It was ballooned out with blood. And and everybody's like, I'm like, I've been hurt before. I've bled before. I'm a little nervous right now. I might need a transfusion. Wow. So yeah, that was wild.
Yeah, when we were watching it, I remember just watching it and I saw you talking to Gordon and I'm like, he's smiling a lot. I hope he knows he has a knife in his hand. And then next thing I know, I'm like, oh, I don't think he remembered he had a knife in his hand. And I was just like, I just don't want him to get kicked out or have to leave because of that. Because you see it, you watch
No
Hell's
way.
Kitchen and stuff like that. You see people with the. So I'm just like, wow, that was the first episode.
That was the
So
first
we're like,
10 seconds.
yeah, we were like, are we about to lose somebody already? And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you were able to pull through it and get through it. And speaking of, like, you met the judges. What were they like? Like, we only know them TV, Gordon Yells and all that, but I'm pretty sure they have an actual personality and they are real people. So what was your experience like with the judges?
So, like, Naisha is like the biggest sweetheart. Like, she just wants everybody to win. She wants everybody to have the money. She wants to call everybody. Very helpful in the kitchen. Very.
Yeah, I get that vibe. I get that vibe from her.
I'm almost have the vibe of like she was an underdog at one point and now she's winning, but she wants the same for you. You know what I mean? Absolute sweetheart, very positive, but she can cook and you cannot mess around in that kitchen.
Yeah.
Because she will let you know. She is on you. And she wants to know what you're doing, how you're doing it. She'll taste it and be like, this is delicious, or no, you need to fix this. You know what I mean? She's no nonsense, but she's an absolute gem. Beautiful, beautiful. Everybody was like, "Ooh, shit! All right." Works out and stuff. You know what I mean? So like, he's gorgeous, man. I look at you over there. Oh yeah. Richard is very like new age chef.
Yeah.
Like he's like funky chef. Like we're gonna do it. We're gonna get rid of the old way. And we're going to do it the new way, like we're going to do it this way. And he had the hair. His hair was really like I got hair, you know what I mean? But his hair was like, I'm like, bro, you got to use a lot, huh? A lot of product. He was cool though. Like he was chill. He's got like that California, like, hey, everything's going to be all right. Like, let's be new about everything. Let's do this. He was positive. He was down to earth. You know what I mean? He didn't have a chip on his shoulder. And then you got to bring it to my man, Gordon. I mean, he was, him and I bonded. There's a lot of stuff they didn't show. He was on my case all the time, but like in a good way. He knew I could take it. You know what I mean? But he was great. He was always busting my chops and making me laugh. And he was very personal with me. He knew about my daughter and my background. And you want to talk about a no-nonsense guy. I mean, I think we all know that.
Yeah.
And the thing is this, I get a lot of like, oh, Gordon's a jerk or a-hole. Or I go, listen, this is what I'm going to tell everybody. I go, when you see him like that, it's because he's around other executive chefs. And some have a chip on their shoulder because they're executive chefs and they have the long resumes and they cooked here, the fanciness there, fancy. And then he goes, hey, make me a steak, and you cook it a little bit over, and he will get in your butt. But you don't see him yelling on our show because everybody's humble. Not saying the other shows that aren't humble, but what I'm saying is there's no menu, all right? You're already against the wall. You get your items. When you go to grab, you're like this, tunnel vision.
That was going to be my next question. That was going to be my next question.
And you just grab what's in front of you. Notice as if you feel like watching it again, but notice the grabs through each time. People get more like, I'm going to go look over here. But if you look at the first ones, everybody just went to a spot. It was like, you know what I mean? And you have to grab it. You bring it back to your table, lay it out. They do a quick minute break to write down what everybody has. So it's a lot like, oh, there's garlic, but you never grabbed it. Where'd you get the garlic from? You know what I mean? Okay. They know what's on the platform. They see what's on your table, so they can say, well, he's making a beef Wellington with this, that, and the other thing. You know what I mean? So they don't screw it up when they say what it is. And then when they're doing that, you have a minute to step back, go, All right, I got cabbage, steak, and some garlic. All right. And they're like, cook, go. And you're like, shit. there's no, there's no like
Planning.
no planning, no walking around the kitchen either. You don't get to
Okay.
see what everything is. You do
Okay.
for like a
Okay.
second. You're like looking. I mean, they do a huddle. We do a huddle. And it's like, Vinny, what are you hoping to get today? Michelle, what are you doing today? And I hope I get this. He goes, where's your level at? Like, you confident, not confident? And he, and he fires you up and, you're like, let's go cook. And he's like, all right, line up. Let's go. And then cook.
Gotcha.
Then you cut your finger.
So we like to toss this question around.
Sure.
So besides yourself, who was your favorite cook?
Ooh.
Or I should say chef.
And it doesn't have to be like who's your favorite person per se, but it's like other than you, who you're the cook style of that, like who was your favorite cook besides yourself?
That's a tough one. Everybody was so different. You know what I mean? I think Tucker.
I like Tucker.
I've never seen anybody like that in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've mentioned like is like the most consistent. It seems like she rarely puts out a bad dish from what we've seen thus far.
Right. So Tucker is a gem. She's gorgeous. She's down to earth. She was on our team. She was just as confused as us. You know what I mean? She didn't bring that like chip, like, I got this. You know what I mean? Yeah. I got this. We would talk about stuff like, hey, if I got this, what would you do? He said, oh, I'll do this. I'm like, well, I'd probably do this. And then she is just unreal. I mean, you see it. Look what she did for the first dish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah.
She blew the doors off. I think the most underrated chef, or I don't want to say unnoticed, is Pilar. Pilar can.
I will say Pilar is on our radar too. She's Pilar on our radar.
She can cook. She's gorgeous. She's awesome. She was mad chill. She slept a lot in the green room. Like she was always tired. She was always like her and Matt. They were always like, I'm over there like, oh my God, I gotta make like a bechamel sauce today. You know what I mean? Like they're just like, whatever, I'm sleeping. But Pilar was I don't know. I could talk about all of them. They're all Michelle's my best friend, so I can't say her. You know what I mean?
No, but it makes sense. I mean, again, we had a lot of great people, and what you just said is the same exact thing we've been saying on our podcast when we review each week. You got tons of great chefs, but then you got those ones like Tucker. You got Pilar, who the first couple of weeks you really didn't hear about. Then next thing you know, she just takes off running with it. So yeah, it makes perfect sense. So
Stretch.
My man Nuri.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, 22 years old.
Yeah. Day one, I was like, yo,
bend down. Like he's gotta like bend down.
How tall is he?
6'7".
Woo!
Oh, I got him by an inch. Okay, I thought he was taller than me. He looks extremely tall. I was like, whoa.
Oh wow! I didn't wait. You're 6. I don't know why. Oh God,
6'8". Yes.
Dag, I did not know that.
I'm 6'8".
I did not know that. I did not know that.
I wear a size 18 shoe. I'm a giant.
I don't know why I had you at 6'4", but that's neither here nor there.
Well, look how offended he is. I'm like 5'8".
I'm highly offended right now. Know you a long time.
Yeah, I know, right? She's like, oh, okay, well, I'll be over here.
Sorry.
You guys need a minute?
I think we'll survive. Yeah, he's one. He was been one of my favorite.
I think Chris got a bad villainous vibe across the board. He's a sweetheart. Like he's just super competitive, you know. Like
we've seen.
Yeah, you know, like I think everybody got a bad vibe. We didn't. Like he's just competitive. That's what his nature is.
Yeah.
He's the first one to call me if I'm having a bad day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, hey man, how are you? He's like,
he's animated. He's passionate.
I mean, he
guess.
brought
Yeah.
some animation to the show. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, I liked him. I thought it was. I thought he was fun. I thought he had great ideas, and it was just like, okay, we need this. This is this. I like Chris. He was good for the
Yeah.
show.
Everybody's phenomenal. I mean, look at Teeny. She's got
Oh
cookbook
my
selling.
god.
Yeah. Oh
You know,
my goodness.
Like she's this tiny little peanut, and you're like, what? But she's like, I'm just gonna make everything great, and she does.
Yeah.
She
kills
did.
it.
I mean, the cow tongue. I was like,
Yeah.
wow.
I'm glad I didn't get that. I would have been like,
I know.
what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Frog legs. Like,
Yeah, I
could try 'em.
know. Like
Mhm.
she just grabbed the ingredients that people didn't want, but she killed it.
Yeah.
So
Omi, the mom. You know, she's like the
Mhm.
mom of everybody.
Omi. Yeah,
The
Omi.
homie Omi. That's what we
That's what
call
we
her.
call her, the homie Omi.
Yeah, I got a lot of great things to say about everybody. I got nothing bad to say about anybody, and I'm not just saying that. Everybody's great. Like, I think Cassie should have gone a lot farther than she did.
I agree.
Cassie can cook.
Yeah.
Like what? Like cook. How many times
Yeah.
have you had traditional Chinese food in your life? Probably
I don't
never.
think I've ever.
Nah, I don't think ever.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Mm-mm,
She
mm-mm.
cooks traditional Chinese and she brings flavors. The funny thing about Mark is he would talk to himself a lot. Okay. I'm like, what? He'd be like, no, I'm just talking to myself. I'm like, all right, cool.
Mark was hilarious. We
Mark.
used to laugh at Mark. I mean, hilarious.
He's the most positive guy on planet Earth.
Yeah.
And he'll do anything for us. Anything. He's my big brother. You know what I mean? He's like,
Yeah.
He wants us, whatever journey he's on, he puts us in his journey. He isn't like, oh, you guys go off to the side. He's like, you're with me now. You got me. Let's go do this big event together. I'm going to tell them they're going to pay you, and they're going to, you're like, I'll take it easy, man. I'll just go watch. Like, but he's like, no. They're getting you in here. I'm like, all right.
Wow. Well, that's good. Well, again, it comes back to you guys are a family, and again, it just feels good to hear. It's a competition show, but you know how to put the competition aside and be a family. So you went through this whole experience with Next Level Chef. It was an amazing opportunity for you. What was your biggest takeaway for being on the show?
That I can cook.
Yeah.
If people know me, I'm humble. I am a humble guy. To me, I can't cook. You know, like I can't. You know, when I was with these people, my family, I was the worst one out of all of them. You know what I mean? Like I have confidence in myself, but I'm very hard on myself.
Mhm.
Very hard on myself. I don't give myself due credit ever. Maybe that's what pushes me to be great at everything, or try to be great at everything I do. I go into everything humble as pie. You know, I don't brag. I don't. You know what I mean? I'm just a regular dude trying to make it like everybody else.
Yeah, I think a lot of us are like that.
Yeah, I'm nothing special. Like, yeah, I'll joke around. I'll be like, guys, I'm nothing special. I just cook with Gordon Ramsay. No big deal. You know, like I just joke. They're like, oh, here we go. We got to hear about this. You know, I'm like, nah, I'm just kidding. No, I like to mess around a lot. But I took away that if you think you're great at cooking and you get put on this platform, you will be very humbled very quick because you don't know anything. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like when you think you know something, you went on this, you don't know. And, you know, I'm constantly like, I was never into it like cooking like I am now. Like I cooked and I love cooking, but this just opened my eyes. And now it's weird when I walk through the grocery store, it's not like, oh, this, I'll just get this. It's more like, I'm racking my brain. I'm in there for like an hour and a half. You buy the quality stuff. You buy the stuff that you're going to pay a couple more bucks for. You know what I mean? Because you want that. And once you do it, you're like, oh, now I'm addicted to Whole Foods. great. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or I'm addicted to Wegmans, where everything's $1 million a piece. And I'm just a
Mm-hmm.
blue collar guy, barely making it. You know what I mean? But
Yep.
what you learn is portioning. Because America, we don't portion. We don't do that. We don't.
That's the
We don't.
problem. That's the problem.
But if you cook with like really, and you get the best of the best ingredients on the show,
Mhm.
and just a little bit, you're full. You like you savor it. You're like, ooh, yeah.
Right, right,
I'm at
right.
the right spot. I don't want to go take a nap right now. I actually feel happy, and this is great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what if that's what you're looking for an answer. I took away humbleness and that the world's bigger than you thought it was in the cooking community. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was a trip. It was a trip. Let me tell you, it was awesome.
So if you could do it all over again, would you?
In a heartbeat.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat, and I wouldn't cut myself as much. Because what you guys didn't know is I cut myself 3 times on 3 different episodes, but they don't show that.
What?
Oh.
I got
What?
myself with the knife again, like after that, and then I got myself with the mandolin.
Oh my
like,
goodness.
Gordon's just like, dude, what are you doing? And a good thing I can kind of cook because he's like, you know what? You redeemed. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, there you go.
Because I'll tell you this, I don't know how you guys are, but I got regular kitchen stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The knives on the show.
Oh my gosh.
Sharp. Like you can make a mistake in your house and be like, oh, that was a close one. There you were like, you're missing half your finger. You know what I mean? Like they are sharp.
That was that top level knives, though. Top level knives. Not the basement.
So, the basement. I love the basement.
Really?
Yeah, man. That was home. I was
about to say that's home cook. Yeah, you're right.
That's home. That's where you think everybody grew up in that top kitchen. I didn't. You know what I mean? I grew up in the basement. Give me fire and a pan. It takes your focus off of all the noise and the mixers and the pizza ovens and the sous vide machines and the vacuum machines. You just got fire, a pan, some spices, and you cook. And I'll tell you, if there's one thing that Gordon always told us was, and it's funny that he says this, keep it simple. Because he'd see, like he knows, he's like, he knows who he is. You know what I mean? He's like, these guys are going to try to impress me with stuff they don't do. Yeah, go outside the box.
Yeah.
But don't be crazy about it. Just kind of stay in your lane, but kind of like start to put your blinker on to sphere over a little bit and keep it simple. You know what I mean? Cook what you know and beef it up.
I say it every week when I'm watching it. I'm like, you don't got to do a lot. Just keep it simple. Just elevate it a little bit. And I think you'll be all right.
I think we learned that in school. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
You know,
I call it being firefighter proof. So that's the numbers you can get. Like just keep it, put the directions on with a guy like actually doing it. You know, don't let me read stuff. I need like the animation of stuff, you know, and I'll be like, oh, that's how you do it. Okay.
Got you.
Yeah.
Well, look, as we're nearing close to the end of the show, just got a couple more questions left. But what we really want to know is because I follow you and I like following your page. We just want to know what's next for Vinny. What are you up to nowadays, and what do you hope to have going on in the future?
So, the thing is, I did want to tell you is June of 2021. I was at the firehouse working, and my parents' address came over the intercom, and it was for a male not breathing, and it was my father, and he had a heart attack and he died.
Wow,
while I was working.
To hear that. So sorry.
And thank you. And I was working, and my best friends were there. All my buddies from the fire department were there. Everybody was doing CPR. We got him into the hospital. The whole hallway was filled with 80 firefighters. There was 100 nurses in there. They did everything they could, and we lost my father unexpectedly. Just dropped of a heart attack.
That's the worst.
Yep. So in June of 2022, same address, my mother died.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
She missed my
Oh,
father. She didn't kill herself. She just
oh,
broken heart
Yeah.
yeah,
while I was
yeah.
working. So I lost both my parents a year apart. They both died in June. And
Oh
then
man, that's so tough.
after filming in December 22, I had a heart attack. And I died.
Whew.
Yeah. So I died for a minute on the table in front of my sister, poor thing. You know, I have a
Mhm.
awesome sister that we are best friends, and she was in the room, and I was having a heart attack, and I just came out of surgery, and I looked at her and I go, I don't feel right, and I died in front of her. Eyes rolled in the back of my head. They did CPR on me, and I died for a minute, and that was a trip. And then the next day, the same thing happened again, and it was a medication that they were giving to me that I was allergic to, that they found out was stopping my heart, and it's very rare. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I know, right? So
Oh my
you asked what's next
gosh.
for me is right now I'm recovering. That's why I have the beard. Um, I'm still a firefighter. I'm still on the payroll. I'm in recovery right now, cardiac rehab. I feel great. Everything's great. Everything's a lot better. And let me tell you about timing. When you think things are bad, there's always a plan.
Yeah.
And the heart attack was probably the lowest I've ever felt because I have a 9-year-old daughter that needs me and I need her. She's my absolute life. Everything I do is for my daughter. She's my world, no doubt about it.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
I left her for a minute and I had to come back. And I did that. And it opened my eyes to my health, to how I eat, how I exercise. I still kind of eat a little shitty, but we're trying to wrap that up. But I'm on the right meds. Everything's great. Knock on wood. The show came out while I'm still in recovery, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And what's in the future? I've always been in college full time as well, on top of everything. For sustainable food and farming, my goal is to have a farm, organic free, grow my own vegetables, and have a mostly beef cattle, and have my own farm to table restaurant, all organic free, pesticide free, chemical free, and
Love it. Love it.
that's
Love
my
it.
goal. 4 more
Love
years.
it.
Yeah.
Love
I only got
it.
2 more years left on my degree, and once I wrap that up, I will save a little money and leave the fire department probably and go do my dream, I guess.
Well,
Yeah.
hey, look,
Love it.
once it's open, please feel free to let us know. We
You
will
coming down?
Yeah.
definitely we will come down. We
We'll make the
definitely
trip.
will. We will make a trip.
So I live in Massachusetts. I've been to Kentucky one time and fell in love with it. So it's either going to be in Kentucky or Tennessee. I don't know which one
Okay.
yet.
Hey,
I'm going to
either
take my
way,
daughter
we'll
and
be
my
there.
dog. I'm getting a puppy this week. I can't wait. We're going to go down there. We're going to
Oh,
explore a little bit. We're going to look and see where we want to lay our hat and have our
Yeah.
big farm. And yeah, that's the goal. That's what I want to do. Farm to table. I want you looking out your window and you can see the beautiful animals and everything's going to be treated right. There's not going to be all that bullshit,
yeah.
chemicals.
Oh,
Every-
yes.
Everything's going to
Yes.
be tasty. The menu's going to be like one page, front page. It's going to be a couple appetizer, a couple soups, couple meats,
Yeah.
couple
Oh
desserts, and it's going to
man.
be seasonal and it's going to
Mhm.
be fresh right from outside your window. And hopefully it happens and it's good. So that's the goal.
Yeah. Well, it will.
Nice.
I claim it. It will happen. I like to speak
Good.
things into existence. It will happen for you. And again,
Thank
we
you.
will be there. Now again, we're nearing the end of the show. So I personally, again, Vinny, want to thank you. We're just like you, we're trying to do something out of the norm, get away from this 9 to 5 and just do something we love to do. I love to cook.
I love to eat.
I have all the videos you see somebody cooking on our page. That's me. This is behind the curtain. You guys don't know it is me. But yeah, we just
I
started
like
doing
it.
this. We just started doing it because we did it. She would come over, I would cook, and it was like, why don't we just start recording this stuff? And then it was like, hey, you watch cooking shows. I watch cooking shows. Why not review it? So everything is just, let's just do it and see what happens. But
Right.
literally from the bottom of our heart, first and foremost, thank you for your services. And secondly, just thank you for responding back and being on the
Yes, thank
podcast.
you.
we
Yes.
we didn't know what would happen if we just reach out to people. But again, that's where you just do it and see what happens.
Well, let me tell you, it means a lot to me because I'm not a big time person. And for you guys to reach out and be as lovingly as you guys are, I will always come on your show when you make it huge. And I'm just some poor farmer down south trying to make it big. And I'll never forget this. This is my first real podcast. So this is the
Oh,
first for me,
nice.
hopefully not a last.
Yes,
But I wish you
yes.
guys all the success. You guys will do it. You guys are beautiful. I love talking to you. You guys are easygoing, down to earth. Reach out to the
Thank
other
you.
cast members. They'll come on. They'll come on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we have been.
we're doing it. We're
Michelle,
trying.
I'll make Michelle do it. Don't worry, I'll make her
Yeah,
do it.
tell Michelle. Yeah,
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 tell
How about
Michelle.
no? Reach out and I'll let them know. I'll let them know it's legit. You guys are beautiful. Thank you for having me on this show.
Thank you. And definitely stay in
Yeah.
touch. Like, let us know, if there's
Yeah, well,
anything you
if
want
you got
to
anything going
talk
on, you want to
about.
promote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just hit us up.
VinDog9 is my Instagram. Chef Vinny Nuggets is my handle on TikTok. Vincent Alia is my Facebook. I don't do much on Facebook, but follow me on Insta or TikTok, and you'll see and stay in touch. Seriously, watch me cook. Hopefully, you guys like my stuff, and we'll keep it going.
Yes, sir. Well, guys, we just want to thank you guys for another episode of the Food We Watch podcast. You already know, before we go, we just have to let you know that good things come, yeah, and good things go. Life
Right.
is like a box of chocolate. Sometimes that should be melting. Have a good night.